Welcome to the Freelance Unlocked Behind the Scenes series, where I'm showcasing the amazing people who will be at a Freelance Unlocked Conference, the first and the best conference for freelancers that is made with love, and it'll take place in Berlin on May 14th, 15th, 2025. If you are a freelancer in Europe, it's an event made for you to learn, exchange experiences, and build your network of great freelancers and experts who move the freelance economy forward. So go to freelanceunlocked.com and grab your ticket right away. My name is Yuri. I'm a community builder at Freelance Unlocked, and my guest is Oliver Gehrmann, an owner at NextUp.de, a web design and online marketing agency that offers premium web services for small and medium-sized companies. So, hello, Oliver.
Hey, Yuri, nice to talk to you today.
And today we'll learn how to make 20 million bucks or euros with YouTube videos and get all the clients in the world. Yeah.
Exactly. You cannot start with the ad read. If you're on YouTube, you need to start with the hook. In this video, you're going to learn this and this. So people need to be like, immediately know what's going to be the takeaway of the talk. So then they are watching a little bit longer.
Okay, so we've tried this Mr. Beast hook, but now let's jump. But still, Oliver is heading all the clients, at least I guess a lot of clients from YouTube.
A lot
and
of them,
today
yeah.
we'll exactly talk about this. But before we go there, Oli, please tell me, how exactly are you connected with the freelance world?
Yeah, so I was studying computer science many, many years ago. And then during studying, I figured out this is not going to be for me, unfortunately. And I might be studying for other people more so than for myself. And at the time, I was playing the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game. I don't know if that rings a bell to anybody out there. And I basically dropped studying, turned my hobby into my occupation, wrote articles for magazines, was judging at events, helping staff these events, did the live coverage of these events. And then that was basically my first freelance gig. And that was when I was at the start of 20, and I might not look it. Some people are always like, I'm surprised how old you are, but I'm now in my 40s. Early 40s at least. So that's been a while back. And that's basically how I started freelancing many, many years ago for no money whatsoever, basically. And then after the gaming industry, I moved to online gaming, moved from online gaming to online marketing. And then I was like, I'm done working for other people. And I'm just going to start my own thing. That was 14 years ago, 2011. And ever since, I've been going strong. And now I'm even hiring a couple of people. So I might not be like 100% the definition of a freelancer, but I still think of myself as one because I've been doing it for so long.
Okay, and about YouTube, what part of your 14th experience is YouTube part?
Yeah, so the thing for me is I'm a very chaotic person. So I have a hard time focusing on one thing at a time and just like sticking with it. So actually doing coverage for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game many years back was like my dream job, because there it would be normal that you're starting an interview with somebody, but then they would have to go play. So in the middle of the interview, you would just drop everything, run with them somewhere else, and then you would write down what they were doing. So it was a chaotic way of working, and other people were like, I can never finish an article. I hate this. And to me, this was like a dream come true. I was working on 7 things at the same time. And then all of a sudden, after like 2 hours, I was like uploading one article after another. And people were like, how is this guy doing this? And so I've always been super chaotic. And because I have such a hard time focusing on one thing, YouTube and live streaming my work is helping me, because then other people are watching me while I'm doing the work. So I cannot just in the middle of it, oh, I feel like going to Facebook, or I'm going to check out what my LinkedIn contacts are doing these days, I guess. Or I'm going to watch some videos on YouTube. So you have other people looking over your shoulder in the most literal sense. And for that reason, I'm forcing myself to stick to the work. So this is how the live streaming came to be.
By the way, I feel like it's an amazing trick to really focus on the work, because when you are like working by yourself, a freelancer, like you are your own boss, you can easily like switch your attention to something else. But if you're live streaming and if at least one person watches you, like, you
Yes,
can't
yes.
do this. You have this pressure. You can't go there. Okay, so let's go to this. Give me a sneak peek into what exactly you'll be talking about on the Freelance Unlocked stage.
Right. So we started with live streaming and then basically took clips from the live stream to put them up on YouTube, because very often we would solve very typical problems that you would have with your website. We're focused on WordPress, web designing with WordPress in my work, in my field of expertise. So it just made sense to clip parts of the live stream and then put them on YouTube. And this led to more people becoming aware of the live stream and also them basically convincing themselves, oh, there's a guy who knows what he's doing. And they would then get in touch with us and send us a request. Very often it goes something like, hey, I've watched this video of yours and I feel like you did a really good job explaining it, but I'm not sure if I can do this myself. And I just want to have an expert at hand if something goes wrong. It's like one kind of request. And then you also have other requests where people are like, I've watched tons of your videos, like 10 or 20 of them, and I really know that you know what you're doing. And now I need help with this particular problem. Or there's a different project I'm involved in where they have a lot more budget than this side thing that I'm doing on the side where I watched your videos. So it's very different from cold outreach. Because in cold outreach, you have to convince people that you know what you're doing and you're basically selling to them and you need to find a way to make it sound not so salesy. But in my case, I'm giving away a lot of knowledge for free and then people are feeling indebted to me in a certain way, if that makes sense. And they're like, hey, you've given me so much already. Now I want to give back. And very often that then leads to them giving me money, fortunately.
So basically at Freelance Unlocked, you'll be explaining how exactly your process works?
Yes, I'm really trying to give insights in like what you can expect if you were to put part of your work online, if you were to start a YouTube channel. We're trying to do some mindset work because a lot of people have really good ideas, but they might feel like, oh, why would anybody be watching my videos? Because there's so many other guys out there that are doing the same thing. And so we're trying to give people reasons to start doing that, to see the value in creating content, and also learn about some best practices that I came up with over the years, what you can do to foster a community, to draw people in, and then eventually monetize the whole thing.
When you started this sales channel, I would say, did you think from the beginning that it will work that way? Or did you find out during uploading these parts of your live streams on the YouTube?
Yeah, so I have to say that my expectations have shifted over the years. At the very beginning, I was hoping that at some point we can basically make a living just from the live stream itself. So you would just turn on the stream, do your thing. People are like watching it, giving you a little bit of money here and there, and everything would be fine. And all the work that you're actually doing in the stream is just the cherry on top. That turned out to not be the case. There's very few people who are in the education business or in the niche of coding in particular that are actually making a living. Like there's like two guys on Twitch basically, and that's like Theo and the Prime Time. But those guys are mostly big because one of them was working at Netflix, so he has the credentials, and then people are like listening to him. And the other guy built a couple of projects himself, and he has a lot of hot takes. Some of them are very hot. Let's just call them very hot. So you always have to like find a twist to make it work so people are watching you. It's not like when you're a live streamer and you're doing World of Warcraft. I guess that's I'm dating myself here, I guess, or League of Legends or something like that, where you can more reliably attract like a large audience and then make a killing. That's not going to happen. So you need to find a different way to monetize it. And that's basically by using it as a lead generation machine for your business.
So let's imagine someone is creating a website for the clients. And usually you are doing this, like listening to some music or maybe just focusing in your stream. But you have to talk. You have to share something. Like how does it work for you? So what is your process of like going through live stream, first of all? And secondly, what is your process of creating small videos out of this live stream?
Yeah, so I think it might be like a bit of a wrong expectation that people are having that you have to be able to talk the entire time. There are actually live streams of people who are doing like focused work, or they're doing co-working streams where they are like on purpose not talking and they are showing you their materials, what they're going through. I don't know many of these that are blowing up like crazy, but then again, my own stream hasn't really blown up like crazy. So I want to dismiss the notion that you have to be a certain kind of person to be successful in this niche. I think that to each their own, basically. There's a lot of people out there that have different tastes. There's a lot of people who watch my streams who are like, this is taking me back to the office days, because so many people are in a home office these days. And I have a very chatty guy in the office who's constantly like cursing about work, what is going wrong. So they kind of find it entertaining and it motivates them to do more work. We've even had people like friends of my wife who have nothing to do with coding. They just wanted to check it out because they were curious, and they're like, I was faster doing my housework because somebody was screaming in the background and yelling about what code was broken and whatnot. So, yeah, so the takeaway there is you don't have to be one kind of person. Like anything goes, really. So that's a big thing that I want to promote here and take away the fear that some people might be having. And then turning it into clips is a bit of a necessity. There is a certain audience of people who want to watch a live stream for a longer period of time, but there's a much larger audience of people who just want to see a clip, very short clip, big entertainment, and then they just get the big dopamine kick, and they might be checking out your channel where you then could have a long form video, we're talking about like 10 minutes or up to an hour, or a live stream, which would be up to 7 hours in my case. But that's like a small subset of the people that are watching your stuff, basically.
So how do you reuse live stream? What do you do next?
I mean, everything is recording anyway, so you just cut out all the background noise, so to speak, like all the lengths every time when nothing is happening. That would basically be what you have to take out. The ideal way for creating a video, in fact, is before you record, you would have a script and you would have a title and you would have thought of a thumbnail. Because the thing is, even if you have the greatest content in the world, if nobody clicks on it, it was all for nothing. So before you start the video making process, in an ideal world, you already have an idea of, oh, this video is going to be this title and this thumbnail. And then think about it, are people going to click on this? And only if you say yes to both of those, thumbnail and title, you should start making a video, which is like the ideal way of doing it. But truth be told, I don't always listen to my own advice here.
Okay, so let's take as an example this kind of interviews that we are doing Freelance Unlocked. So what are 3 things to do to make these videos more engaging, to make this conversation and to bring the most value to listeners, but definitely how to engage them to jump into listening?
Yeah, so at Freelance Unlocked, we're going to be talking about the video making process. So we're really trying to give people like a recipe how they can do their own videos and also take away their fears why they should be doing this. Then we're going to be having a bit of an outlook of what it's going to look like when you do this and what's going to happen, how it can transform your business or at least have a really big effect on your business. Then I'm going to show a couple of things that might not come to mind at the very beginning, like how you can foster community building, which is one of the topics that you're really big on. So how people can really make the most of that audience that they are actually building and what other ideas you can use. We're also going to be looking a little bit behind the scenes, like how much money are you making from YouTube directly with advertisement there? How much can you make from placements in your videos? Because all of that to a lot of people is just like a field with a lot of fog. They have like no idea what is going on, and they're like, nobody can tell me what's going on. And I'm trying to give like some real insights with actual numbers and not the typical fluff. Oh, we're so successful or something. I'm really trying to break it down for people.
So before the conference, what is one small step that freelancers can make right now to start getting clients from their YouTube videos?
Yeah, I think the number one thing at the end of the day is authenticity. I didn't say that right. Authenticity, is it correctly?
Yeah, it's right.
It's right. So there's a lot of folks who think they have to put on a face, they have to play a certain role, they have to be a certain way, and then they can start making videos. And that's just not true. Like, I mean, we kind of see that with LinkedIn posting, but what I don't like about LinkedIn, I mean, a lot of it feels fake. I think a lot of people would agree with that. But even the posts that look a little bit more like real are something like, oh, I messed up so much, but I took away this knowledge and that knowledge, and now I'm at this place because I messed up back there. So for some reason, everybody has a problem just saying that things went wrong. There always has to be a but I learned from this, but I made something out of this. And I think that with video, it's kind of be like being your honest self is like the main thing at the end of the day. And if something goes wrong, I'm like the last person to like brush over it and say, oh no, this is actually a really great learning experience. I will tell people, no, we messed up there. We did a terrible job, and this is what we learned from it, I guess. But it's mostly about, yes, we messed up there, because that's far more entertaining. Like some of the bigger videos that we have are like lessons I learned as a freelancer, basically like where I messed up, stuff like that.
You know, to your point, there are two podcasts, Freelance Thrive and Freelance Sucks. In Freelance Thrive,
Mm,
it's more about some kind of professional thing, and Freelance Sucks about challenges and messing ups. And I would
yeah.
say that Freelance Sucks has twice more listens than Freelance Thrive. So
That
yeah,
makes
yeah,
sense.
it's
Yeah, makes
just to
sense.
your point. So totally
Yeah.
makes sense. And you know, I wish to have the sky as the limit, but time is the limit. So the final question: what is your quick take on the freelance economy and how it will develop in the near future?
Yeah, so I believe basically it is the future, or it's already here, I guess. So because at the end of the day, Europe is copying a lot of what is happening in America, and America does have a very strong gig economy. Whether that is good or bad might be like on a different sheet of paper, but I think you have to have something very unique if you want to thrive in this economy. And if you're doing the same job every day, at the moment, with artificial intelligence on the rise, it's just more likely that you're eventually getting replaced. So if you're a freelancer and you bring something to the table that absolutely nobody else brings to the table, if you have like your very well unique selling proposition, but more like Maruan from Finally Freelancing, another expert that we're going to be having on the stage at the Freelance Unlocked, always talks about you basically have to cook a meal, and you need to take all of these recipes and put them together. And then what you have together is like your USP at the end of the day. And I think this is the most important thing. As long as you have that, even if the economy is going down, the economy is going up, whatever happens, you're going to be fine.
Yeah, it's like freelancers sometimes forgetting that they are running business and that they are
Yes.
not just doing a job, but they're running like their whole business, and they have to think about not just day-to-day work, but about the marketing, branding, copywriting, sales, accounting, taxes, and you name it. So
Yeah.
yeah, and you'll definitely be there because you are a speaker. But what would you say to your friend if they asked you whether they should go to the Freelance Unlocked?
Yeah, so last year it was a very spontaneous decision for me to go there. I bought a ticket as like one of the last people. There was like a newsletter, and they said, "Hey, we're going to be at the Freelance Unlocked. If you want, check it out. Here's a promotion code." We got it a little bit cheaper, but not for free. And I was like, "Oh, it seems kind of fair in terms of how much we're paying and what we might be getting." And then it was just so nice to be in a room full of people where everybody, for the most part, thought the same thing. Like when you're normally at like a large event and there's two people sitting in the corner and they are having a conversation, you get bored out of your mind because they're talking about the weather or maybe their kids, which is not that bad, but it's just not what you're into right now. But there at this event, everybody was talking about business the entire time, how they can win clients over, how they solve this issue in their freelance business, and how they are trying to position themselves. And it's just like the entire day was full of so many cool ideas where people were like really exchanging ideas. I made a couple of friends there. Actually got a couple of clients because of the connections I made there. So to me, in terms of the money spent and what I got from it, was like completely out of proportion. It was such a good deal. And also on my YouTube video channel, there is a video where I talked about my experience last year. So you can see for yourself. This is like 1 or 2 days after the event. So this was like my very fresh take, and it's overwhelmingly positive.
I guess I will also add it to the description of this video
Sure
so people
thing.
can
Yeah.
check it out and go see like the real fresh review of how it was last year. And yeah, this year it will be better, I promise you. And even before the conference, what is the best way to connect with you?
Well, people can check me out on my YouTube channel. I think that is the number one way. And we do have a Discord for all the people who are interested in what we're doing, or they want to talk about coding or web design or WordPress. So you can always join the Discord as well. And we link to it on basically every YouTube video. So that should be the easiest way to get in touch.
Got it, Ollie. Thank you so much for sharing your journey, at least this small part of your journey. I can't wait to learn more at the Freelance Unlocked. And yeah, hope to see you very soon in person.
Well, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it.
And for those who listen, I hope you learn from Ollie's experience right away and say thank you to him at the Freelance Unlocked Conference on May 14th, 15th, 2025 in Berlin. So go to thefreelanceunlocked.com, grab your ticket, and meet you there.